local all morning. The Fox 61 Morning News starts now.
And right now at 6 o'clock, Connecticut's safe harbor law is set to go into effect. We'll tell you what that means for abortion rights in our state.
And demanding accountability in New Haven after a man was severely injured last week. What attorney Ben Crump had to say.
And frustrations over expansion plans for Tweed Airport. We'll tell you what residents had to say and what new service is coming for passengers.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Thanks so much for being with us here at Fox 61 America Areas.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Good morning to you. Certainly we want to get your morning started with a check on the forecast after a nice day yesterday. Mostly sunny start here from the Hartford and Mohegan Sun cameras.
Look at that sunrise in Hartford.
No clouds to worry about.
We're checking in with meteorologist Rachel Piscatelli. Got some great news for us.
Yeah, guys, absolutely gorgeous.
Look at that behind you.
Yes.
Wow.
Today is going to be an absolutely picture-perfect day. Yet again, low humidity expected and temperatures that will be in the mid-80s across the state. Currently, it's cool out there, cool and comfortable. 59 degrees right now in the capital city. 57 is the dew point. The winds are calm. You'll look at temperatures that are in the upper 50s to near 60 degrees. 59 right now in New Haven, 60 degrees in Bridgeport, 55 in New Milford, 55 in Danbury. So your day planner for today. By about 9 a.m., we're already warming up, just about 10 degrees into the lower 70s with winds that are calm. Heading into the afternoon, we'll notice temperatures that are in the 80s, middle to upper 80s expected for the day today with low humidity and comfortable. So if you liked what you saw yesterday, you'll like what you saw today too. We'll talk about how long this is expected to last, of course, coming up in just a bit. Meteorologist Matt Scott will be here a little bit later. Lauren, we'll send things over to you.
Good morning. Yesterday was perfect outside. Today, another A+ day. Really looking forward to that. Good morning, everyone. 6:02 here in the Fox 61 CTDOT Traffic Center. As you can see, no incidents to report on the road. Do have some delays. Rocky Hill to Hartford will take you about 18 minutes. Traffic moving just over 25 miles an hour. That's just from construction cleanup this morning, but no incidents to report, which is good. Let's take a live look outside. Behind that in Rocky Hill, things are moving smoothly until you approach the Weathersfield area. And like I said, things are looking good out there. Waterbury to I-84 eastbound, traffic moving freely. Construction has cleaned up in Waterbury this morning, which is great. Let's take a live look out to our friends in the Elm City. Good morning to you. 91 north and southbound looking fine there. We'll check in again with the rails in the skies in just a little bit, but for now, Tim and Erica, back to you. Good morning.
Lauren, good morning. Thanks so much.
Well, following the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe versus Wade, of course, it's now up to the states to set their own tone for abortion rights or restrictions.
Here in Connecticut, it is still legal. Our state will be a safe harbor for others. Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc is joining us now live right outside the state capitol building. Julia, you have more on what this all means.
Good morning to you. Yeah, well, the safe harbor law, which is what we're talking about here, can also be sort of loosely translated as now a safe haven for people who live in states where abortion rights are either restricted or completely banned, who can now come here to Connecticut to get those services legally here in our state. Now, this was a bill that was signed into law by Connecticut state legislators back in the spring, and it goes into effect this Friday, the 1st. So essentially, it protects medical providers and patients looking for abortion care in our state, making it legal for them to get services here, though it may be illegal in their state. It also focuses on expanding abortion care to advanced care clinicians. We're talking about people like midwives and physician assistants, so they can be trained on this medical procedure. Now, Planned Parenthood of Southern New England, we caught up with them, and they're going through that training this summer, very soon, to be able to handle a potential increase in people who need abortion care services here in our state. They have already seen people traveling specifically from Texas, which started restricting abortions back in September with their new law.
Most recently, we cared for a patient from Texas who was pregnant from a rape. And the Texas ban does not make an exception for people who are pregnant from rape. Our health center staff were phenomenal and amazing in meeting that patient and providing her both the excellent medical care and the emotional support that she needed to navigate receiving abortion care because of a rape after traveling 2,000 miles.
Now, those with Planned Parenthood also tell us that right now they are remaining vigilant to make sure that they are safe and secure against any protesters or maybe people who will try to vandalize their facilities because of the recent ruling from the Supreme Court. That is happening not only here in Connecticut, but Planned Parenthoods across the country right now are remaining vigilant to just be on standby, providing extra security in case people do decide to lash out. We are live in Hartford, right outside the state capitol. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61 News.
Julia, thanks so much. All right, and of course, remember, for continuing coverage into the fallout over the Supreme Court's decision on Roe v. Wade, stay with us here on Fox 61, on air and on Fox 61 Plus for the very latest national and local reactions. Calls for justice in New Haven after 36-year-old Richard Cox was seriously injured while in police custody earlier this month. Residents and community leaders gathered for a town hall meeting last night hosted by the NAACP. Attorney Ben Crump says that Mr. Cox is still in the hospital and can hardly move from his chest down after his head and neck hit the wall of a police transport vehicle just over a week ago. While people in attendance there called for accountability.
We demand justice. We demand accountability. And most of all, we demand humanity.
We are here to demand justice, accountability, transparency, and change, real change.
And New Haven's Assistant Police Chief Carl Jacobson also addressed the incident at the meeting.
We're all disheartened by what happened, and I want justice for Randy as well. We are going to work hard to make changes.
New Haven police say that the 5 officers involved are currently on paid leave as the investigation continues.
Public safety did take center stage in a gubernatorial forum yesterday in Old Saybrook. It was organized by the Connecticut Emergency Management Association. Governor Ed Lamont and Republican challenger Bob Stefanowski spoke to first responders about public safety related issues, among them the legalization of marijuana, the opioid crisis, and the diversity of recruitment for police departments and the expansion of body cameras.
I think we have one of the best police forces in the world. I think that's reflected in one of the safest states. And we always have room to make progress.
We need to invest in law enforcement. We need to find a way to attract more recruits.
A Green Party candidate, Michelle Bicking, was also supposed to speak at that forum, but did back out. Secretary of the State, Denise Merrill, is resigning. Secretary Merrill told the Associated Press she's stepping down on Thursday to care for her husband, who's facing serious health issues. She has served as Connecticut's top elections official since 2010. Secretary Merrill had previously said she would not seek re-election this November. When she does resign, Governor Lamont will need to appoint her replacement until the upcoming election. Well, police in Groton are asking for the public's help in solving a homicide that happened last December. They're offering a reward if anybody can provide information that leads to the arrest of the man who shot and killed 59-year-old Rowan Whitfield Sr. He was shot near a bar on Bridge Street. Investigators said Whitfield's family is offering a $5,000 reward as well for, again, any information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the people responsible.
At 6:08, a sad update this morning. Crews have found and pulled a 20-year-old man's body yesterday morning from Candlewood Lake after he went missing swimming last Friday. Well, this is the second incident at Candlewood Lake in the last month or so. Last month, the body of a 24-year-old man was pulled from the water after being missing for several weeks. All right, going to Hartford now, where the search continues for a driver in a hit and run that was involving a motorcycle. It happened on Tuesday night along Asylum Avenue near the I-84 on-ramp. Hartford fire officials say the motorcycle rider was thrown from the bike and suffered head injuries. The driver on the other vehicle just took off. If you have anything that could help police, give them a call.
Today in New Haven, a partnership is expected to be announced, a new one between Tweedy Airport and the city to help people afford parking. Starting on Friday, travelers will be allowed to park at Union Station Garage for $10 a day and then take a free shuttle to and from the airport. Mayor Elliker is expected to make that announcement later this morning. Speaking of Tweed, last night some residents in the area spoke out over a number of expansion proposals. The airport wants to extend its runway and move the terminal to East Haven, but that has raised some environmental and health concerns. Some people who live in that area said the increase in air traffic from Avelo Airlines adding more routes has caused several issues, including more noise and more traffic.
You're just annoyed by this huge noise, and it diminishes your quality of life.
I understand that there are concerns that people have. I respect those concerns. We are following the process that we have to go through to look at those issues.
That was Sean Scanlon. He also said the airport has come to a voluntary agreement with Avelo to reduce takeoffs and landings during overnight hours. They said they're also almost done with an environmental assessment study that will be made available to the public to try to find ways to reduce traffic.
Well, happening today, campers will be welcomed back for another summer of fun in Ashford at the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp. The camp was founded by Paul Newman back in 1988. It offers a program and services for kids with serious illnesses as well as their families. Now, this is the camp's 35th summer. Next year, Hole in the Wall Gang Camp plans to open another location in Maryland.
And we speak to CEO Jimmy Canton every year at the Travelers Championship because that tournament raises a lot of money for that camp.
It's a very important, special place.
Oh,
indeed.
yeah, they are doing great work.